So after making two 30+ minute long videos, you'd think I'd take a bit of a break, but nope. Instead, I wanted to apologize for going 2 months without a Pokémon video. So I figured what better way to make one than by recycling the ability discussion. As the first time I covered them, I talked about two unbalanced abilities and their balanced redheaded stepchild, and how I would go about buffing and nerfing them. And in the next video, I talked about an ability which makes no sense and has no consistency with several broken rules, but this time I want to keep the discussion simple. So let's stop beating around the bush and discuss the absolutely broken ability of Moody and why I hate it. Now, Moody was introduced in Gen 5 and was given to Remoraid, Octillery, Smeargle, Snorunt, Glalie, Bidoof, and Bibarel. But while with my last two videos on abilities, I spent my time going over each individual Pokemon with the ability, here the only one that functions even slightly differently is Smeargle, and that's because it has Baton Pass. But to explain the importance of that, I must first explain how the ability functions. Now, Moody at a first glance may seem balanced, as while it gives you a random +2 stat boost at the end of each turn, it also gives you a random +1 stat drop. But the thing is that not having to do anything for a stat boost already in itself is extremely powerful, and when combined with moves like Protect and Substitute, makes it all the more broken, as you can just stall for the right boost as your opponent aimlessly tries to figure out what they should do to defeat you. But we haven't even reached the surface yet, as the most broken aspect of the ability is unquestionably its ability to boost your evasion. Now, some may be confused about why evasion is so broken, so I'll state it here, as the reason why it's so powerful is because it punishes you for missing even a 100% accurate move. Because the thing is that luck shouldn't determine something like that, as while you can swap Fire Blast with Flamethrower for more accuracy, there is no alternative for when your opponents are spamming Double Team, outside of limiting yourself to incredibly niche and bad moves like Aerial Ace and Aura Spear. Like, Moody was already far too strong, but it was this last ingredient that would take an ability that would have already gotten banned in Gen 5's meta, and gotten it from not only an instant ban from OU, but also Ubers, cementing it as one of the most insane Pokemon abilities, as it could even make Bidoof an unstoppable monster. What's crazy too is that you could swap Bidoof with just about any other Pokemon with the ability, and you would get the same results of a similar playstyle. Although there is one Pokemon who can climb even beyond them, and that's where we reintroduce Smeargle, who has Baton Pass. Now, Baton Pass is banned, and the reason why is because it allows you to swap to another Pokemon and give them both your increased and decreased stats. Now, this doesn't seem broken at a first glance, but after you find out that you can set up boost to a sweeper, stats that they themselves can't be able to boost normally without having to stay in a field where they can risk fainting, makes for an absolute disaster to fight against, as that Baton Pass Pokemon with boosted stats and a moveset full of type coverage to fight your entire team with is beyond broken. It's for this reason that the move was repeatedly neutered and nerfed by Smogon until they just decided to finally ban the ability in Gen 6. So when you combine this banned ability with this banned move, you get a force to be reckoned with, and what could very easily be considered the most broken support Pokemon in the entire game. But that was all that happened in Gen 5 when the ability was introduced, and you may be wondering why I even have this section, given how little the ability has changed. But you'd be wrong, as Gen 6 indirectly updated Moody, as when Mega Rayquaza saw its ban from Ubers, it forced Smogon to create a new tier of Anything Goes, where all bans were lifted, and you could play as dirtily as possible. So in a way, this saw the legal debut of Moody, and unsurprisingly, it's still broken even there, even with Mega Rayquaza causing carnage around the tier. As for Gen 7, no changes were seen, but that would all change in Gen 8. Now, this was at a point where Game Freak seemed to have realized the error of their ways, as they decided they'd cut half of a Pokédex to improve the animations, which they didn't do, and balance the meta, which they did an even worse job at. In fact, it's even more unbalanced than the already power-crept to hell Gen 7. But hey, at least they tried, and seeing them nerf Moody was an example of that. So let me explain why they didn't even do a good job with that. So while they removed the ability's ability to increase and decrease both evasion and accuracy, they still ignored the other problem that the ability had, as the reward you get from the ability is still far too much for how minimal the drawback is. If you wanted to properly nerf Moody, then you would You have to do that along with giving you a random +2 stat drop so you can properly even things out. But they didn't do this, so Moody was banned from OU once again, although it did survive Ubers. So while Gen 6 marks the playable debut of Moody, Gen 8 saw its first appearance in an official tier, and here it kinda sucks. While in OU, the god-awful stats and move pool of Snowrunt, Glalie, Remoraid, and Octillery were able to be ignored with the sheer power of the ability, in Ubers it's not like that, because they had to defend themselves against monsters like Calyrex Shadow Rider and Duskmane Necrozma, which just isn't possible for them. To defend yourself against Pokemon that powerful, you need evasion, but without it, the ability has now landed into obscurity. So, why did I make this video? Honestly, I don't know. And honestly, I don't even know why I find something as stupid as an ability to be so interesting at all. Like, I've been falling out of competitive Pokemon for the past few months, and even then I still find it so easy to make a video like this. But I guess I shouldn't be asking why, but instead be asking how you would nerf Moody. I haven't done one of these end of the video questions in months, so I figured that this could be a good one to briefly return it. Also, I'll be ending off this video with an outtake that took place during the recording process that sees me angrily and unscriptedly complain about Dynamax. Well, anyway, I'll see you guys in the next 2 weeks with another Pokemon video.